Hey, you guys, what's going on? This is Shedrick here. So I'm on my news feed and I see this article right here pops up and it says DC lawmaker blames Jews for bad weather. Now I'm going down and I'm reading this article and it says a DC lawmaker blamed the late winter snowfall on a family of Jewish bankers, accusing them of controlling the climate and orchestrating natural disasters. And the guy name is Treyon White Sr. Says that he apologized for his statements, but basically this is what he stated. He said, "Man, it just started snowing out of nowhere this morning, man. Y'all better pay attention to this climate control, man. This climate manipulation." White can be heard saying in the video, the Washington Post reported. And DC keeps talking about we a resilient city, he continues. And that's a model based off the Rothschilds controlling the climate to create natural disasters they can pay for to own the cities, man. Be careful. So, of course, talks about how he was being anti-Semitic and, you know, the quote unquote, talked about the Rothschilds and the banking industry. And it talked about how the, Jewish community is always suffering, or has to suffer through the anti-Semitic backlash and things like that, and the typical things like the typical things that Brother Farrakhan has stated throughout his career, and he talks about how the Jews are treacherous and how they have been the puppet master behind a lot of scandals in government and media and so on and so forth. And let me reiterate that so that nobody can say, "Oh, well, you're being anti-Semitic." I'm saying that Farrakhan has stated these things. So let me go ahead and just state that for the record. This article is also going on to say that he did apologize, that he didn't know what, his statement was going to imply, and, he has Jewish friends, and this, that, and the other. Based off of what he's saying, it appears that he is apologizing, based off of the fact that, the article is saying that he's apologizing because he hurt some Jewish people feelings. Okay. I'm sensing that it might just not be the case. Maybe he's apologizing because he got caught. Because in all actuality, many of our own people, many quote unquote black brothers and sisters around the country have been, saying these things about the Jews. Many Caucasians have been saying these things about the Jews. Now, does it make it right? No, not necessarily. But there are people who have been, saying things improving Jewish hands behind certain quote unquote conspiracy theories. And needless to say, the brother stated, that he apologized. He apologized for his own, I guess, conscience sake, and considering the fact that he's a, public servant, he wants to be represented in the best light. And maybe his statement probably wasn't the best. But I want you guys' feedback on this particular situation here. I've seen several articles in the past, certain things on Facebook, where people are posting articles or Craigslist ads for certain companies to do weather manipulation. I have seen, personally, I have seen inventions and things of those natures and apparatuses that have been used to modify the weather. As a matter of fact, and this is crazy because in 2016, I actually saw a CNN article that talked about this contraption that they were quote unquote prospecting to use to manipulate the weather. It's some type of laser beam. And I think I have it in my archive somewhere. I'm thinking about uploading that. And if anybody wants to see that art, that news segment on CNN. And not CNN, it was a weather channel. I apologize. And I was kind of like not shocked, but then it was like, wow, so they really are modifying the weather. So weather modification is not new, but are the Jews, or these quote unquote Jews, are they behind the weather modification? That's what needs to be clarified. And I'm surprised the Anti-Defamation League ain't come out of the woodworks, especially considering the fact that this is a DC lawmaker and he's a quote-unquote black brother. Man, the Anti-Defamation League, as soon as anybody say anything about the Jews, they come out of the woodwork. So I'm surprised you didn't hear them come out. I haven't seen anything as of yet, but I'm going to keep my eyes open. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about the whole situation. How do you feel about the brother's statement in regards to the Jews are the one who are controlling the weather? I mean, it's really been no mystery of them being hiding hands behind the media and certain policies in government. But nonetheless, this right here, the weather modification, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you think he's right? Do you think he's wrong? What are your thoughts? Share them.